Welcome into Beard-Eaves Coliseum here. We've got the second Auburn Wheelchair Basketball game of the day on deck as the Auburn Tigers get ready to take on the Cast Iron Skillets here in Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum. And it was a big win in the first game of the day for Auburn, taking down Lakeshore 84 to, I believe, 41, Rhett, in that game. It was a big victory over Lakeshore. Now you come into the second game of the day. Love these tournaments. You get a lot of game action in a weekend. And, Rhett, what did you see from Auburn in the first one today? What are you looking to see as we wrap up the night here?
Yeah, in game one, I saw an Auburn offense that had its highest output of the weekend. And, expecting them to be a little bit tired here in game two, but this is a deep team, and they pride themselves on not really getting tired. So excited to see that. Jake Eastwood, who we know can do everything for this team, was big as a distributor. It was Evan Heller and Jude Hiley leading the way in the scoring column. I expect to see a little bit more of that in game two as long as everybody feels like they're able to stay fresh. Really interested to see how substitutions and things work, and maybe a chance to get to see some guys that didn't see a lot of game action in game one.
Yeah, and as we get into this game, you and I were talking to some of the staff here beforehand, and Evan Heller apparently had some changes with his chair before the season. You want to talk about those before we get into this game here?
Yeah, so what they were saying was that Evan, when he came to Auburn, was a 3.0, and he went up in classification to a 4.0. And so feeling like he needed to be bigger, he decided to get a bigger chair where he sat taller. And then last season, with that taller chair, felt like he was kind of slow. So coming back for this season, Evan is back down in a lower chair. Feels like he's a lot quicker. You saw that in game one. A lot of cuts. He had double-digit points just in the first quarter, and a lot of that came from cutting down the lane and was found very well from Jake Eastwood. Already, if we've got the starters on the floor, it's a different look than Auburn had in game one, but I'm definitely getting ahead of myself. Not sure who we've got yet. Everybody just getting to the benches, so don't want to get ahead of anything. But, yeah, Evan looked great in game one, showed off a lot of speed getting to the rim.
As we are getting ready to take the court here, we've got, I like that in midcourt from Blake Lofton raising the wheel up into the air, getting ready to start this one. That's a fun gesture. I like that a lot. As Auburn's starting five is now on the court here. You've got Drew Butel, Jude Hiley out there, as well as Jay Denning, Adam Smith, and I believe that's Gavin Peterson as well out there to start for Auburn in this one, as we are about ready to get tip-off underway against the Cast Iron Skillets.
It is a different five. The only continuity in the starter is Adam Smith from game one to game two. Hiley played a lot in the second half.
Hiley will win the tip right to Adam Smith, and Auburn's going to take this one right down the floor initially. Downward pass to Hiley. Hiley lays it up and rims out as Cast Iron gets onto that one. It is Blake Lofton with the ball up the court here as Hiley gets into some contact in midcourt. Lofton trying to cut back towards the center, still looking for space over on that far right side, looking for a pass down in, and is going to find Logan Caudle out there at the edge of the arc near the baseline. Caudle trying to find some space, is going to flip it back over his head to Fisher Risk. Risk gets intercepted trying to go cross court on a pass there. That is Drew Butel with it. Butel down into the lane. Butel crossing back across to Jude Hiley, and Hiley will sit that up and in. Auburn on the board first, 2-0.
Great way to run that break right there between Butel and Hiley. Hiley got a good look on the first possession, wanted to make up for it there after he missed on the first time down the court.
Cast Iron back down the court now. Fisher Risk on it, as we are going to get a foul call here. That's going to be on Logan Caudle of Cast Iron. This will be Auburn basketball. It'll be Gavin Peterson to inbound here to Jay Denning. Denning up the left side. So we've got some contact at midcourt between Adam Smith and Blake Lofton. Smith is going to shake Lofton, have it right near the free throw line. Pass out to Hiley. Hiley eyeing up a shot. Passes down into J.D. down there, then kicked back out to the three-point line for Butel. Butel looking for space, cross-court back across to Hiley. Hiley's going to fire. Good, fairly deep mid-range shot from Hiley there. Another solid possession for Auburn.
Great ball movement from Auburn right there. I like what Smith was doing at midcourt, trying to get one guy out of the play, get Auburn an extra guy, and it pays off. Hiley knocking it down, looking sharp early.
Cast Iron trying to create some space in the Auburn end now. It's Fisher Risk with it once again. Riz trying to shake his man, does get a screen, trying to create space around the screen, but kind of runs back into it as Blake Lofton's going to take over off the pass. Lofton working on Adam Smith here, but good defense from Smith outside the arc, and 4 seconds to go now for a shot for Cast Iron, and they are going to get one off, but that one is going to miss, and Jay Denning's going to be there for the rebound, also known as JD. For those of you listening, if I say JD, that is who we're referencing, as Denning drives down in, pass near the free throw line for Hiley. Hiley trying to find down low, but that one is in between a couple of chairs right now in a scrum, and we are going to get a jump ball call there.
Yeah, going back to that last possession defensively for Auburn, that is where they pride themselves the most. That is Coach Taylor's biggest point of emphasis is defense, communicating, switching, being aggressive, and you saw it there, a bunch of switches at the top. This team is really fast, and part of that is because they can switch so well.
Lofton now bringing it up the court for Cast Iron. Got a lot of traffic right in front of him. Lofton going to try to cut back inside, but good defense by Butel, and that pass down low is going to go out of bounds. That's going to be Auburn basketball. Again, not a lot of space for Cast Iron to try to find something in these passing lanes early.
Yeah, suffocating defense, different from what we saw in Game 1, where Lakeshore had one man that they were able to consistently go to as an outlet. Cast Iron not able to find it yet.
Adam Smith passes that one over to Drew Butel. Butel down low for Hiley. Hiley gets his own rebound off the miss, fires back up, and that one's in. Good work down low from Jude Hiley there. 6
points early for Hiley, off to a great start in this one.
Cast Iron back up the floor with it now. It's Rizk on it once again. Circles back around looking for space. He's going to try to find a pass into the middle. That's Woody Thornton. Thornton's going to fire near the three-point line, but that one is going to be short. That'll go out of bounds. Auburn basketball once again. Up the court now, Adam Smith on the ball. Smith all on the three-point line, but it's going to pass outside to Butel. Butel cross-court to Hiley. Hiley firing from near the three-point line. That one is good for Auburn.
Jude has found his rhythm here early. 4 for 6 from the field. He's hit both of those jumpers from that left extended free throw line.
Currently 8-0 Auburn. You could also say 8-0 Jude Hiley right now for the Tigers. Great start for him as Cast Iron's going to put up a shot. It's Blake Lofton, and that one is going to go out of bounds as well. Cast Iron still not able to get on the board as this will once again be Auburn basketball.
Well, we saw a lot of this from Auburn in the first two games going back yesterday. Just suffocating defense, and Lakeshore was the first team that was really able to break that down at all, and it comes down to having one outstanding player.
Hiley with the ball down low. Good pass down low for Gavin Peterson, but the shot from Peterson is going to go off the rim and out. Cast Iron now trying to take it up the court with some speed, but Auburn getting back effectively once again. Fisher Risk with the ball, trying to find some space right at the top of the three-point line here in the middle, and gets a pick, tries to make space off the pick, but is forced to circle back once again. Good defense from Denning for the Tigers. Risk outside at the three-point line, fires down in, and that shot is high and missed by Blake Lofton. I'm not sure if one of the Tigers got a piece of that down there, but it looked like they might have, as now Auburn goes back up the court on offense. Peterson with it down low. Peterson, that one's up off the backboard and in. 10-0 Auburn.
Great look inside for Gavin Peterson, and uses the glass well right there, like that little dive.
Cast Iron with it once again now. It's Woody Thornton bringing the ball up the court. Again, great defense on the three-point line by Auburn. Just Cast Iron Skillet's unable to get any penetration so far in this one, down into the lower end of their half of the court. So that's going to be a deep three fired from Lofton. That one is off the iron and out as Adam Smith will collect that rebound for the Tigers. Smith up the court on the left side, checks up near the free throw line, then drives back in, just uncovered, but the layup bounces off that right side of the rim as Cast Iron retakes possession. Risk up the court once again with it. And Rhett, stop me if you've heard this before, but good defense around the three-point line, although there is a seam there. Lofton, good pass back to Risk, and that layup is nailed. That was a great cut from Fisher Risk towards the basket there.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to have to do to break down this Auburn defense. Cutting off the ball, they do a good job of trying to stop everybody.
Peterson passes back out to Smith at the elbow. Smith fires across to Hiley. Hiley going to take a shot from down low, and that one bounces off the rim 2 separate times, and that one's going to be rebounded by Fisher Risk for Cast Iron. Cast Iron back down the court. Risk again trying to make some space, and pressed by Adam Smith just past the logo here on this side of the court. Blake Lofton going to take over now off the handoff. Lofton trying to find space, but pressed down in that corner. 5 on the shot clock now. Lofton still trying to make something happen in that corner. He's going to put a shot up, and that one is off the front of the iron and rebounded by Jude Hiley. That is a foul. We're going to get a foul call here on Cast Iron. I believe it's on Blake Lofton there, Rhett.
Yeah, and Jude Hiley just trying to get down the court and lead a break and got cut off. A little bit too much contact, and now mass subs for Auburn. Jake Eastwood comes in. Jay Denning, the only one that stays out on the floor. It is Travis Beckler as well as Nassif Chowdhury, and down there in the corner is Davis Taylor for the Tigers.
It's going to be Chowdhury on it for Auburn first, trying to drive in, pass out to the corner for Eastwood. Eastwood back to Chowdhury at the top. Chowdhury's going to, I thought he was going to fire from 3. Faked me out to Eastwood, then back to Chowdhury, pass down low, and that one's going to be fired up and in. Great play from Auburn there. That was Evan Heller, I believe, on that, or was that Travis? Travis Beckler. I can't quite tell the number. That is Travis Beckler on that one.
Beckler, that was great ball movement. But first, a little two-man game between Eastwood and Chowdhury, and then a nice little dump-off to find Beckler in open space down on the block.
And Fisher Risk was just cut off trying to drive. Good little pinching action from Auburn there to stop him in his tracks. As now it's Logan Caudle with the ball for Cast Iron, trying to find a pass down into Risk. Risk is pressed by multiple Auburn defenders, but it's going to fire up. That one is off the front of the iron again and rebounded by Beckler, who takes the ball back down the court for the Tigers.
Auburn has done a great job defensively of just keeping wheel position.
Chowdhury wide open is going to fire close to that down low area, but is going to bounce off the right side of the iron and be rebounded by Cast Iron here. Risk up the court once again with this one, trying to find some more space. It looks like they're a little bit more free here with this new rotation as Caudle puts one up from down low, but that one's off the front of the iron. But Rhett, I think you'd agree that a little bit more space for Cast Iron against the second rotation than we saw at the initial start of this one.
It has been, and Auburn only one bucket so far for this new rotation. I think Cast Iron has been able to play a little more in transition. Auburn hasn't been able to set their defense as well as Nassif Chowdhury gets on the board.
Well, maybe the reverse announcer jinx there from you, Mr. Rhett Chrome, as Auburn finds the scoreboard with the new rotation almost immediately after that, as Fisher Risk has it once again for Cast Iron and pressed by Eastwood at the line. This one is passed off to Blake Lofton. Lofton again down into this corner. Hasn't had a bunch of success down there. The Auburn defense is good at trapping him in that area as Jay Denning is all over him. Lofton's going to put one up, and he does find the bottom of the net that time. Rhett, the reverse announcer jinx, is going crazy across the last two possessions right now. But Auburn now back down the court. It's Eastwood with the ball. Eastwood across to Chowdhury. Chowdhury with a lot of open space, going to fire back across to Eastwood. Eastwood down low, back across to Chowdhury. A little 1-2 between the two Auburn players right now, and that one is down into Denning. Denning back out to Chowdhury. Chowdhury down low fires. That one's off the front of the iron, but Chowdhury gets it back up off the glass and in. A good possession there for Auburn. Good offensive rebounding.
Yeah, way to chase your own shot. If you are Nassif Chowdhury right there, does a good job to get his board and put it right back up.
Risk with it once again, trying to drive down the lane, gets cut off by Chowdhury, and Denning has to pass it back out to Lofton. Lofton at the top of the arc loses the ball for a moment, trying to recover it, is covered up by Auburn defenders, but is going to get an outlet pass to Risk. Risk trying to drive into the elbow area, but it's going to get pushed down towards the baseline. Back out to Lofton. Shot clock down to 3. Lofton fires off the back of the iron, and that one is rebounded by Auburn and Travis Beckler. Beckler down the court now over to Eastwood on the left side. Eastwood driving in right to the elbow. Fakes like he's going to put up the shot. Drives back out. Fires up to the top for Chowdhury. Chowdhury down to the far side for Davis Taylor. Davis Taylor back up to the top for Eastwood. Eastwood across the left side to Chowdhury. Chowdhury trying to put some moves on Lofton here before sending it back across the court to Eastwood. 3 on the shot clock. Denning up off the glass. Does get fouled despite that one not finding the bottom of the net.
Love what we're seeing from Jake Eastwood. He's passing up some open shots that he knows he can hit. Everybody in this gym knows how good Jake Eastwood is, and he's using this tournament as an opportunity to try to set up some of his other teammates to get the ball rolling as the regular season, the collegiate season, I should say, is right around the corner for these teams. Trying to get some guys a little bit more involved. He knows when he can go and get his, but working on his ability as a distributor.
Denning now at the free throw line for the Tigers. First shot is off the front of the iron. Is he ready for shot number 2 here for Denning? Nearing the end of the first quarter here as Denning's second shot is also off the mark, rebounded by Cast Iron. 10 seconds to play here in the opening quarter as Risk is looking for a pass. Lofton gets to that one, trying to drive towards the Auburn end, but is going to be cut off by Beckler. Gets it across to Risk. Risk at the 3-point line as time does expire on the quarter. Cast Iron just not able to get deep enough into Auburn territory to get a shot off there at the end of the quarter. Auburn leads 16-4 at the end of one here in Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum.
Yeah, great defensive first quarter for the Tigers. Might want to still work to figure some things out on offense, and I imagine that'll be the conversation in the huddle here. But defensively, that's the best that we've seen them look since game 1 this weekend. Got to be really satisfied there if you're Coach Taylor.
Yeah, there were just not any lanes whatsoever for Cast Iron, as we are going to send this one to break right quick, and we'll be back for the start of the second quarter. Welcome back here at Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum, getting ready for the start of the second quarter of Auburn's second game of the day. This one against the Cast Iron Skillets, which, Rhett, I have to say, I absolutely love the team name for Cast Iron.
Yeah, Cast, Christian Amputee Support Team, and Cast Iron going with the Skillets. It's a fun group. I like that a lot.
It's a good play on words with the acronym, but Auburn is going to take over possession here. It's Eastwood with it, looking for some space to operate down low, is going to fire cross court. Once again, we've seen a lot of those passes today as a shot is put up by Davis Taylor, but that one's going to bounce out off that back side of the rim, and Cast Iron gets the rebound here. Fisher Risk, once again, I feel like has had a few rebounds today. Looking for space to move down in here again. This Auburn defense at the top of the arc has just been near impenetrable as that pass is going to go over to Blake Lofton. Lofton fires up a shot from 3, and that one is off the back of the iron, rebounded by Nassif Chowdhury. Looking to push down court here. Chowdhury looking for someone to pass to and is going to find Eastwood at the top of the 3-point line. Driving in, kick out back to Chowdhury. Down low, shot put up, and the second effort also no good from Travis Beckler, although Auburn's been good at following its own misses today, getting those offensive rebounds. If you keep doing that, eventually some of those are going to fall. Oh, big contact at midcourt between Beckler and one of the players for Cast Iron here. Can't see the jersey number quite yet. I believe that was Blake Lofton. Yes, Blake Lofton coming together at center court with Travis Beckler. That was big chair contact, and that is going to be a foul.
Going back to that last offensive possession, Beckler makes a great cut on the baseline, and Chowdhury does a good job to find him. Beckler misses the first, follows it up, just can't find it, but it's a great offensive set for Auburn, just doesn't end in points.
Logan Caudle with the ball now for Cast Iron. And again, trying to find these passing lanes, but not much given by this Auburn defense as it's over to Lofton, who is marked by Denning. Lofton trying to find somewhere to go with the basketball and just cannot. This Auburn pressure relentless. He's going to have to fire it backward to Fisher Risk. Risk trying to create some space. Just 5 left on the shot clock. They're going to have to put up a shot is Cast Iron. It's across to Lofton, cut down in by Caudle, and that was a great cut there at the end from Caudle. Unfortunately, could not find the bottom of the net as Auburn's going to press this one back down the court with Jay Denning. Denning back to the top for Taylor. Taylor across to Chowdhury. Down low for Eastwood. Good ball movement, good basket for the Tigers. Jake Eastwood down low. Auburn leads 18-4.
That is great ball movement and just great positioning by this Auburn offense. Find the holes in the zone and get down in there.
Risk on the ball now. Given some space this time. Lofton cuts down low, fires up a shot. That one's going to be off the rim and out. I think that's one of the better possessions Cast Iron has had so far as early space goes, but unfortunately just unable to find the bottom of the basket for the Skillets as Eastwood is on this now, and up to Chowdhury near the top, down low into this far side for Davis Taylor. Taylor cross court to Eastwood, and Eastwood's going to put up a shot. That one is off the glass and in. Jake Eastwood once again, 2 consecutive possessions of the basket for the Auburn Star.
And just another good possession where Eastwood finds himself in some space, and the offense does a good job to find him.
As we've got a whistle here. Foul, but play it back. Ready to go once again. It was an Auburn foul as Blake Lofton is going to put up a shot, and that one's going to go down. Lofton with, I believe, his second bucket of the day for Cast Iron.
Yeah, second for Lofton. The other one from the exact same spot on the baseline, just on the other side. Couple of tough buckets from him.
Chowdhury's going to send this one back to the very top for Davis Taylor as once again Auburn looks to get this action going across to Eastwood. See if Eastwood wants to do more scoring. But no, that's going to be a great pass down low over a couple Skillet defenders, and Travis Beckler is going to knock that one home. Great cut from Beckler, great find from Eastwood.
Eastwood eyes in the back of his head, and like you said, Beckler in the right spot. That's not the first time we've seen him cut down to that block.
There's a decent cut from Cast Iron, but that was going to be cut off by the Auburn defense. Stifling once again as Denning presses down the court across to Eastwood. Eastwood back over down low. Great recovery on that by Chowdhury as that's going to be a foul, but the basket's going to be waved off. Thought we had an and one there for a moment, but it is going to be free throws for the Tigers still.
Yeah, and I thought that foul came in the shooting motion, but they'll say it was not, so Chowdhury will go to the line to shoot 2.
We've got mass substitutions here for Auburn as well. Adam Smith is in the game as well as Gavin Peterson, Evan Heller, and Ben Edwards all in for the Tigers. The only Auburn Tiger remaining on the court after that was initially in is Davis Taylor.
First look in this game at Ben Edwards and Evan Heller, 2 guys that are some really great players for this Auburn team.
Adam Smith on this one now, given some space, but that one cannot fall for Smith. Bounces off the front and then the back of the iron as a Cast Iron going to take control of this here. Blake Lofton weaving back and forth, looking for some space. Lofton going to try to cut in, but pressed out of the side. Great defense there from Davis Taylor, and we got chair contact down low. That's going to be a whistle. That's going to be an Auburn foul, and the Auburn bench is not happy about it. They're signaling foul on Gavin Peterson there.
Yeah, it looked like that one could have gone either way. The Auburn bench, a very vocal bench, both for good and for bad. Really excited to see how they look as we get into play against other collegiate teams.
Inbound pass goes to Fisher. Risk for the Skillets. Risk over on this low corner. Adam Smith trying to press him defensively. That was a good cut, but good switching by the Auburn defense to hang on. Pass across to Caudle. Caudle fires up. Nice shot there from Logan Caudle. That one's going to fall. Cast Iron now up to 8 points. Trails 22-8 behind the Tigers. Adam Smith's going to control the ball down the court for Auburn. Looking for space. Back across to Smith. And Smith cross court. That one's going to be fired up and in. Good shot, Gavin Peterson over on that far side.
Auburn doing a good job of using the full width of the floor here, going back and forth to either side and making Cast Iron kind of stretch their defense out.
Cast Iron looking to drive down in here. Risk absolutely smothered by Ben Edwards, and that one is not going to be able to fall. Great defense there from the Auburn big man. Tigers pressing down now. Adam Smith fires up from down low, and the lay is good from Adam Smith. Rhett, you mentioned that defense for Cast Iron. You try to protect against these Auburn cuts, and when you do so, that outside is left open. Auburn's been able to take advantage of it so far.
Yeah, and they ran the break really well right there. Evan Heller pushing that one forward and getting some guys running with him. Finds Smith down low on a great cut.
Risk trying to get a pass in down low. That one's going to be put up by Philip Crane of Cast Iron, but that one is off the iron and no good. Auburn with the basketball now. Once again, Evan Heller looking to press down the court. Heller looking for open options, is eventually just going to dump that one down low to Ben Edwards, and the shot from Edwards is good. The height from Edwards clearly a difference here early.
Yeah, Ben Edwards, just kind of a safety valve that Auburn can go to down low. He's bigger and taller than almost everybody else out on the floor, and so if you throw kind of a lob pass like Heller did right there, you can trust that Edwards is going to be able to reel that one in.
Cast Iron back with it now as Auburn leads 28-8. About 4 minutes to play here in the second quarter. As looking for a lane once again is Fisher Risk, and again pressed to that outside corner. Auburn doing a good job of not letting him push down to the basket, but cross-court pass over to Blake Lofton. Lofton back out of the free throw line for Philip Crane. Crane pressed by Adam Smith, trying to find somewhere to go with it. Eventually back out to Risk. Risk back down to Lofton. Lofton puts up a shot under 5 on the shot clock, and that one is good from Blake Lofton.
Good ball movement right there from Cast Iron. It comes late in the clock, and that's not the first time we've seen them with late play clock offense.
No, it is not, Rhett. They've been good at finding something out of nothing when they do get on the board there. Adam Smith all the way across court to Evan Heller. Heller back at the free throw line for Smith. Smith across to Gavin Peterson. Shot up and shot off the iron once again for the Auburn Tigers. Cast Iron with this back now. Blake Lofton taking it up the court this time for Cast Iron. And we are going to get a whistle on that chair contact.
It's going to be a hold against Cast Iron. Looks like it came from near us as Evan Heller was trying to get away and got held onto.
Now Adam Smith pressing down low for Auburn, looking for other options, considering going to Edwards, and is going to find Edwards up near the free throw line. Edwards passed down to Davis Taylor. Good finish from Taylor.
A great cut from Taylor right there, and a good find from Ben Edwards, and that's huge when you've got your big guy down low that can also move the ball that well.
Definitely, Rhett, as now it's Blake Lofton back onto it. Lofton back out to Risk. Risk back to Lofton. A little 1-2 here. Lofton's going to put up another shot, and that one is off the rim and away from Blake Lofton, as now it's Adam Smith taking back up the court. And that one's going to be off the front of Smith's chair, but he recovers it nicely thanks to some help from Davis Taylor. Smith out to that down low area for Ben Edwards again. Edwards, good find from Edwards, and that one is going to fall. Good cut from Evan Heller there. You've seen Cast Iron try to go out and defend these wings that Auburn's had some success from, and Auburn's responded with some cuts to the basket.
Heller got hot early in the first game. Didn't check into this one until the second period, but he's got 6 points already in the second quarter.
Under 2 minutes now to go in quarter number 2. Logan Caudle with the ball for Cast Iron is going to find Blake Lofton. Lofton, nice cut to get away from the Auburn defense. Fires up from 3. That one is off the rim, as it was a good late contest there from Ben Edwards coming out.
Edwards had a lot of impact already on both sides of the ball in just the few minutes that he's played.
Smith gives it to Edwards, who gives it right back to Smith, down low, and that one is going to fall. Good shot, Gavin Peterson. Again, Auburn just finding the open space down low in this one, whether it be cuts or adjusting to these late defensive adjustments for Cast Iron. It's good, cohesive offense right now from the Tigers.
Yeah, Auburn moving the ball well and moving well away from the ball, opening up plenty of space for the ball to work.
Fisher Risk with it near the free throw line, going to send an outlet pass over to Philip Crane. Crane smothered by Ben Edwards on defense. And that was going to go back across the center court line. We are going to get a backcourt violation there, as Blake Lofton did eventually have to touch the basketball.
And shot clock was winding down right there, so not much they would have been able to do even if that one stays on their side of the timeline, but instead, turnover back with Auburn.
Waiting for the ready to play here off the whistle.
Cast Iron had 6 guys out on the court there for a second.
Well, any advantage you can get, Rhett. As now Auburn back with it. Evan Heller looking for some space down low. Heller back to Taylor. Taylor down low and is going to find Peterson, but Peterson's shot not able to fall, but that shot is able to fall. Good shot from Evan Heller.
Heller just having a great quarter. 8 points in the second, and he has not played the whole quarter.
Inside 30 seconds before halftime here now for Cast Iron, who's trying to get something going as they're down 26 currently. Down low find. Philip Crane. Does have some space, puts up a shot. That one's going to go off the backside of the rim. Rebounded by Adam Smith. 10 seconds to go here in the quarter. Smith flying down the court, looking for something to do as that one's going to be down into Heller. Heller's shot up and in, and that should do it for half number one, and it does. Auburn up 31-10 at the half here at Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum. We'll send you to break, and we'll be back for half number two in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Beard-Eaves Coliseum here, where Auburn Wheelchair Basketball leads the Cast Iron Skillets 38-10 in Auburn's second game of the day. And it's been suffocating defense for Auburn so far. And Rhett, I believe they have an incentive to play even better in the second half.
Yeah, Jude Hiley came up to us at the half and told us that the coaching staff has challenged them that if they can keep Cast Iron to under 10, which would mean no baskets at all here in the second half, they will get free donuts later on this week. So that is the goal. Jude said whatever it takes to keep Cast Iron under 10 points.
Well, I do not know if they can keep them off the board entirely in the second half, but I know they're certainly going to do their best as we get ready to start the third quarter here. It's going to be Auburn. Oh, I thought it was going to be Auburn with the ball first. They swapped out there at the last second on me. It's going to be Cast Iron taking possession here.
They're going to have to stick to them like glaze to dough if they want to keep them from getting. How many donut puns can we come up with?
Well, you can't even allow a sprinkling of scoring here if you're Auburn. There's Blake Lofton on the ball now. Lofton spinning, looking for space down low. Pressed by Eastwood down there. Lofton's going to kick out to Risk. Risk over to Caudle. Caudle back to Risk at the free throw line, and the Donuts are still alive as that shot is off the mark. Jake Eastwood now going to bring it up the court for Auburn. Over to Adam Smith. Smith pretty much all alone down there, but is going to pass back out to the free throw line for Zach Armas. And shot over from the side from Smith, and that one is in. Auburn on the board here in quarter number 3. Oh, excuse me, I'm apparently blind. He missed, but Cast Iron on the ball now. Blake Lofton with it, controlling possession here. Has some space down on the right side, but is going to cut back towards the middle, trying to find one of these passing lanes. Drive to the basket from Caudle, but gets cut off. 5 to play on the shot clock, but we're going to get a whistle here on that one.
Got a foul, looks like, on Denning. Either Denning or Eastwood. Couldn't see if it was 44 or 24 that we got from the officials, but here we go, a chance to break the donut opportunity.
Free throw from Lofton is short.
Still alive. This could be a theme for a lot of the second half, just a minute in.
Lofton's second shot is good, and there go the Donuts. Sad times here in Beard-Eaves Coliseum. But back to the wheelchair basketball. Auburn with it down the court. It is Jay Denning in control of the basketball. Going to fire out to Eastwood. Eastwood back up top for Chowdhury. Chowdhury, good pass back down low for Eastwood. That's great movement without the basketball there from Jake Eastwood, and gets the shot in from down low.
Great from Eastwood. Maybe even better from Chowdhury. That cut off the ball from Eastwood mirrored the one that Chowdhury made to get the ball, and then a nice look down low to find Eastwood.
The movement overall in this game for Auburn has been very solid, and the defensive movement too is now Risk is going to cut in. That's a great screen by Cast Iron, and Risk can't get it into the basket off of the screen, but that was some good pick work from Cast Iron at the top near the three-point line there, as Eastwood's going to drive in quickly, fire down low, and going to score. That looked very easy for Jake Eastwood.
Yeah, it's effortless for Jake Eastwood. He's got 14 now after not playing in the first quarter, and that's what we talked about. This guy can score at will, maybe now looking a little bit away from setting up his teammates and trying to find his own shot. As whistles and a foul on the Skillets here.
That'll be on Blake Lofton. And Auburn will take over here. It'll be Adam Smith. Smith into Eastwood, and right back to Smith, and down the court we go once again. Unguarded, he's going to fire from 3. Why would you not if you're Adam Smith? Easy 3 there for the Tigers. Good shot.
As they say, bang outside, the gang outside. Adam Smith from deep, showing off the range.
That indeed is what they say, as Cast Iron controls this one now. Blake Lofton with it. Lofton trying to find space, but once again, this Auburn defense is guarding him tightly at three-point line. Good cut, good find from Lofton, but the shot is going to be smothered by Adam Smith. That was Philip Crane down low for Cast Iron, who couldn't quite get a clean shot up. As now Smith with it again. They're going to leave him space again from the three-point line, but he's going to drive down in there, kick it back out to Chowdhury down low. Chowdhury trying to find some space and make some of his own. Good physical play down low from Nassif Chowdhury.
This Auburn offense is working here early in the second half.
Playing with the anger of a group of 5 who just lost their donuts for sure. But Cast Iron now back with this one. Risk on the ball this time. It's been either Risk or Lofton pretty much all day at the top here for Cast Iron. Neither of them have been able to consistently find space. As now out to Caudle, who is covered by Adam Smith. Caudle trying to find somewhere to go as the shot clock is under 5 now. It's going to have to be a heave from Crane, and that's a difficult shot. Covered up well by Zach Armas.
Boy, the Auburn defense might have to make the argument that they did not give up 10 points because they could not defend the free throw line. Don't think that's gonna land, but man, they have played excellent defense all day. This third quarter is the best basketball we've gotten to see them play in this game. Offense is clicking and defense has been even better than it was in the first half.
Yeah, it's been very nice, cohesive, complementary basketball. What a cut from Chowdhury down low. Pass. Oh my goodness, that was very smooth from Nassif Chowdhury. Just couldn't quite connect with Jay Denning down under the baskets. That was going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, too smooth. Denning wasn't quite ready for it. Almost kept it in play, but couldn't quite. That is a great pass, and Chowdhury is going to be saying, man, you got to be ready for those.
Denning playing good defense, though, here on the back end as Lofton has control of it. Pressed by Eastwood. Now a couple Tigers coming over to help as Caudle has it up by the three-point line. Eastwood coming out to defend. That one's passed in down low for John Joyner, and Joyner's shot is going to fall short. Auburn going to take back over here. Adam Smith once again with the ball. Smith looking for a pass, is going to fire it out to Eastwood on the far side. Back into the top with Chowdhury. Then Smith again in this little open area on the side. They keep giving him space, and he keeps making him pay for it. Adam Smith once again.
Yeah, just a really smooth shot from Smith, finding himself, as you said, in space and taking advantage. Got time to get set and take the shot. Doesn't have to be moving. That's what he's had on a couple of his big makes.
Risk finds Caudle on this one. Caudle trying to create some space. Fires up a shot. Wasn't super tightly guarded, but that shot is going to bounce off the back of the iron and will be rebounded by Auburn. So we got a couple players tied up in the back half of the court. We're playing 3-on-3 right now as the rest of the Auburn Tigers get down. Deep cut shot up from Adam Smith, and that one is in.
Well, and Micah, you said it. That one started in the backcourt. Both Smith and Chowdhury held their guys up to get a chance for Auburn to have 5-on-3 with just 2 free runners coming into the lane, and Smith was one of them.
Cast Iron trying to find the board here in the third quarter. Under 5 minutes to play in quarter number 3 now. And Chowdhury, good defensive steal on that play. Eastwood with the ball, driving down in the low. That's going to be a pass to Zach Armas, and Armas can't quite get that one to fall. Eastwood rebound, and that one does fall for Jake Eastwood.
Eastwood, a great find on the cut from Armas. Armas can't quite knock it in, but Eastwood is there to clean it up. 16 points now for Jake Eastwood.
Well, right, you mentioned the starter. We're going to see him try to be a scorer. The answer has been an emphatic yes in this one compared to our first game of the day, as now Blake Lofton trying to find some space for Cast Iron to do something, but they are going to secure that pass. That was a great recovery there from John Joyner to get ball control back and fire up a difficult shot that made it through the bottom of the net there. And Rhett, your free throw argument is now well and truly dead, so confirm no donuts. But Auburn back on this one. Eastwood over outside the three-point line up to Chowdhury, down to Adam Smith. Smith cutting around, trying to find some space, fires up. That one is off the rim and going to be rebounded by Cast Iron as Caudle up the floor. That now going to dump that one off for Blake Lofton. Lofton going to fire from 3, and that one is off the rim. Understandable, though, at this point in the game, just trying to get anything going on offense as Chowdhury's going to take this one back down for the Tigers. Pass into the middle for Eastwood. Eastwood circles back out and around. Deep pass from Eastwood down to Adam Smith. Smith back out to the line for Armas. Armas' shot is going to be short, and that one's going to go out of bounds.
This team just has a great feel for where each other are on offense. Right there, Chowdhury led the break really well. He's got excellent chair control, coming in really hot and then was able to come almost to a complete stop. He and Eastwood knowing exactly where everybody is on the court. Doesn't end in points right there, but that is what is really impressive to me about this offense. And now a platoon swap, 4 new Tigers on the floor.
Yeah, Ben Edwards into the game for Auburn, as well as Davis, Taylor, Jude Hiley, and Griff Cloyd for Auburn. Jay Denning can stay in as Cast Iron puts up a shot. Lofton's shot is no good, and the rebound's going to be taken by Edwards.
First action of the evening for Cloyd. Interested to see how he gets involved on the offensive end.
Edwards over to Hiley. Hiley out to the side for Davis. Taylor shot it from Taylor. That one's good. More good ball movement and just not a ton of tight defensive pressure. We've seen it all day on that kind of outlet wing area. Just Cast Iron not wanting to fully close out to those spots, and Auburn's made him pay for it. Lofton now trying to find some space and shake Cloyd. Can't quite do it. Hiley goes to close out, and that one is taken control of by Jude Hiley. Good play for the Auburn defense. Hiley trying to find space down the court across to Cloyd. Cloyd's layup is good. Great work in the break from the Tigers there. Hiley to Cloyd, 2 points for Auburn.
And that's how Griff Cloyd gets involved on offense. A great job on the break, getting down and working with Jude Hiley, and a great find by Hiley.
Cast Iron back with this one now. Risk finds Lofton again. Lofton trying to create space. He's going to fire cross court over to John Joyner. Joyner back out of the top for Lofton. Lofton defended by Denning, and then Hiley to close out. Back across to Joyner. Joyner fires. That one is no good. Rebounded by Cloyd. Cloyd quickly to Ben Edwards as now Jude Hiley takes it down the court for the Tigers. Nice spin move from Hiley as we have a Cast Iron player down. That is going to be a shot up from Griff Cloyd. He is going to be fouled. Cloyd to the free throw line.
Some good chemistry that we can see right here between Hiley and Cloyd. The first couple of minutes of Griff Cloyd's day, and he and Jude Hiley seem to be on the same page. It has been a stellar third quarter. 18-3 in favor of the Tigers here with about 53 seconds to play.
Yeah, you'll take that point differential all day. First free throw from Cloyd is a bit short. Get ready for number 2 here. Cloyd's second free throw does find the bottom of the net. 58-13 Auburn with just about 50 seconds to play left here in quarter number 3. Lofton down the left side with this one. Nice cut back in the middle, cut off well by Hiley. Has to pass it back to Risk. Hiley trying to recover on defense again and can. Back out now from Hiley again to close on Lofton, as now Lofton looking for space over the left side. That's going to be cut off completely and smothered by Ben Edwards. Yet another takeaway for the Tigers. Hiley racing towards the basket, cuts back in the middle, fires up a shot, and that one is good. That was a great little stutter cut from Hiley and a short shot up there that finds the bottom of the net.
Yeah, Jude Hiley having a really good day. Hadn't scored since the first quarter, but had been very important for this offense in terms of facilitating. Gets back on the board here in the second half. 10 points this evening for Jude Hiley.
Cast Iron again trying to find space in the perimeter to do something, but the time is going to expire on the third quarter before that can happen. Auburn leads the Cast Iron Skillets 60-13 at the end of 3 here at Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum. We'll be back in just a moment for the final quarter of wheelchair basketball action tonight on WEGL 91.1 FM. Welcome back here at Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum. Getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter between Auburn and the Cast Iron Skillets. Auburn leads 60-13 after a 22-3 point differential in the third quarter that saw the Tigers really put their stamp on this one. And Auburn will begin the quarter with the basketball as Jay Denning has it, fires it right back to Jude Hiley. Hiley given a ton of space and is going to fire. Why would you not? That one bounces off the rim, though, a couple times and is going to fall away. Rebounded by Logan Caudle for Cast Iron.
Hiley with maybe a little bit too much space right there. Plenty of time to think about that shot. Couldn't quite find the bottom.
Lofton going to take control of this for Cast Iron. Looking to put up a three, but cut off. Has to make a turn. And, decent cut there from Lofton's. Good defense, though, from Hiley to cover it, as now both Hiley and Edwards all over Lofton's going to have to fire down in for risk. Cross-court pass, but the shot is not going to be off in time from Philip Crane. That'll be a shot clock violation on Cast Iron.
That is the best defense that you can play, is forcing a shot clock violation. Steals are fun and flashy, as are blocks and forced misses, but, man, when you give a team 30 seconds and they can't even get a shot off, you've played great defense.
Yeah, and Auburn's been close a couple times doing that today, but I believe that's the first shot clock violation we've actually seen go all the way to the end, is now passed from Hiley over to Edwards. Edwards' shot does everything but falls through the net on that one, rims out completely, as Cast Iron going to collect the rebound and see if they can get one towards the rim this time. Risk pressed on the outside by Edwards. Edwards is such an intimidating presence there on the edge. So hard to do anything around him, as Lofton's going to fire out to the edge for Caudle. Caudle back to Risk at the top. Edwards all over him once again, as Caudle is going to fire a shot, and that one's going to be just short. Auburn with the rebound. Tigers on it once again. Jude Hiley down the court, up the middle. There's no one home in the middle for Cast Iron. Late closeout. That's a pass out to Edwards. Tough shot from Edwards. That's a tough angle. Manages to get it up and in, though. Auburn with good work on the break. Late pass there by Hiley, and a good make from Edwards.
Yeah, great find from Jude Hiley, and like you said, a tough basket for Ben Edwards.
Edwards back on defense again, doing it once again, as now it is Logan Caudle with the ball for Cast Iron, trying to find some space. Eventually fires it cross court to Blake Lofton. Lofton guarded by Hiley and Denning. Does fire from out there, but that one is going to be just off the mark. Lofton has been the leading scorer for Cast Iron today, but a little bit cold in the second half compared to the start of the game, as Edwards drives in, finds Cloyd, but Cloyd can't knock that home. Denning can't knock it home. Cloyd gets the second rebound there and does get that one to fall. So after a couple offensive rebounds, Auburn finds the bottom of the net.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. And the Tigers, a great job crashing the boards right there and giving themselves extra opportunities.
Trying to make a cut down in is Fisher Risk, but a couple Cast Iron players there colliding with each other. This will be passed back out to Caudle at the top. Caudle down low for Lofton. Lofton back to Caudle at the free throw line, and contested shot does not fall. Good late defense there from Griff Cloyd as Auburn heads back down the court. Cloyd into the middle for Edwards. Edwards going to pull up at the free throw line and let it fly. That one's off the back of the iron, rebounded by Jude Hiley. Hiley cutting down low. He's going to fire that one up at the basket, off the glass, and in. Good work there from Hiley to get down low and finish that one home.
This Auburn offense in the fourth quarter maybe a little bit more stagnant than we've seen today. Maybe starting to feel a little bit of the fatigue of 2 games, and also recognizing that they have a big lead. But it is not in the DNA of a Rod Taylor coach team to cruise.
Definitely not. You're not seeing it right now, especially on defense, as we do have a whistle here. Timeout called by Cast Iron here. 6:15 to play in quarter number 4. And we're going to send you to a quick break during the timeout here on the floor. We'll be back to the Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum in just a moment here on the WEGL Sports YouTube channel. Welcome back to Beard-Eaves Memorial Coliseum. 6:15 to play here in quarter number 4. Auburn leads Cast Iron Skillet 66-13. We got some substitutions for the Tigers. Davis Taylor on the court, along with Gavin Peterson, Evan Heller, Travis Beckler, and I believe it is Drew Butel, the 5th Auburn Tiger on the floor right now, and it is, as Cast Iron trying to find some space to get something going. It is going to be Lofton from down low, and that one's going to be off the glass, off the rim, and out, rebounded by Butel. Butel down the court looking for a pass, is going to fire that one to the middle for Evan Heller. Heller trying to find space, passes it back out wide to Beckler. Beckler with the ball, again cross court for Butel. Butel out wide, looking to create some space. Another one of these cross-court passes finds Evan Heller, and Heller's shot is good.
Automatic from Evan Heller, as he has been all day. Those are just his first points of this game, but he did a lot of work back in the first game of the day.
Caudle on the ball once again for Cast Iron out at the free throw line. For Lofton trying to find a workaround, but Davis Taylor is all over him, as it's going to be out to Dylan Risk. The Auburn defense on Risk, as well as that pass down low cannot quite connect. Was looking for Evan Majewski down there, was Cast Iron, but Auburn with control. Pass back down low for Gavin Peterson. Peterson back out to the top for Evan Heller. Heller across for Butel. Butel back up to Peterson, who gives it right back to Butel, who fires, and that one rims out. Good look for Butel, just couldn't quite get that one to fall. Cast Iron back with the ball now. Logan Caudle taking it up the court. Caudle across to Lofton, and it's been the story of the day so far. This Auburn pressure on the perimeter has been hard for Cast Iron to really get much penetration, as, again, they're forced outside of the three-point line, and that shot from Philip Crane is not going to be able to find the basket.
Yeah, Auburn, especially after a made basket, has been able to set their defense very well. They get to that three-point line, or maybe even as deep as free throw line extended, and just kind of line up across the court and stick with their guys. And you get to see that during the week in practice. They practice.
Long shot there from Evan Heller, and Evan Heller has caught fire here in the fourth quarter. That was just a I'm going to pull it right now shot from number 23, and that one finds the bottom of the net. It's been that kind of game for Auburn.
It has been, and they practice that shot a lot. But going back to the point, in practice, one thing that they do every single day is chair work, getting with one guy and just trying to not let him go anywhere and then flipping around the other way. And that works offensively and defensively, as it makes you have to stick with your guy defensively and try to learn ways to get around and get away from guys on the offensive end, and you see that work pay off in games like this.
A very just cohesive, sound Auburn defense, as good pass down low, good cut from Travis Beckler, and a good find from Evan Heller. You've seen a lot of good cuts today from Auburn, and I feel like Beckler's had a few himself, has been able to find space down low and capitalize on it, as now Beckler's pressing defensively. Cast Iron trying to find some space. Risk passes outside, as we're going to get a foul down on some contact in the paint here.
And the bench over there for Auburn arguing that's not a foul, and might have to agree with them. A couple of Tigers just kind of squeezed in and made it a tough position, as getting some help from the referees to get back on the right side of the wheels. That is number 20, Mandy Stone, for the Cast Iron Skillets.
Cast Iron going to retain possession here after the foul. And Lofton's pass is in to Stone. And Stone's going to fire from three, and that one is far to the side and will go out of bounds. It'll be Auburn basketball. Under 3 minutes to play now here in the fourth quarter.
This Auburn team looked really good in the first half. They've looked even better here in the second, especially on the defensive end, just not letting Cast Iron find any kind of space.
Butel now with the ball, passes out near the top to Davis Taylor. Taylor fires down low for Gavin Peterson, and Peterson finishes despite the late contest there. Good finish.
Great look from Peterson, being in the right spot, a spot where it's easy to make them, getting down low on the blocks. Auburn has loved those cutters on the blocks all day today.
Lofton fires up a shot. That one is going to be off the iron, rebounded by the Tigers once again. The Auburn rebounding, too, has been exceptional today. Not a lot of second chances for Cast Iron as Davis Taylor fires that one in the middle for Butel, and that's going to be a foul. That's going to be Blake Lofton on the foul for Cast Iron. Auburn going to control from a baseline inbound here. It's going to be Davis Taylor to inbound. And Taylor finds Gavin Peterson up near the elbow. Peterson given space on that outside edge, and that spot has been money for pretty much any Auburn Tiger that wants it today, Rhett, on either side of the basket.
Yeah, the elbow is a great spot. Peterson gets into double figures with 10 now on the afternoon.
Under 2 minutes to play now here in quarter number 4. Auburn leading 77-13 as Blake Lofton trying to create space once again on this outside edge. It's been tough to buy all day. Lofton going to cut in, fire a shot. That's off the back of the iron. Offensive rebound for Cast Iron, but the follow is not good, and Auburn will collect that defensive rebound.
Yeah, you said a couple of possessions ago, Micah.
Oh, nice find, but unable to finish there for Butel.
Doesn't work out. You said it a couple of possessions ago. Auburn had given up very few second chances. I don't think they had given up any second chances until that one right there, but the defense recovers well, doesn't let Cast Iron find it.
Risks trying to create some space here on Beckler, and does eventually get down to the outside. Going to have to fire a cross-court passes. That one's tipped on its way across by Davis Taylor. Good defense there. We've got 7 on the shot clock here. Inbound from Cast Iron. Again, not much time to work. Already under 5 as Risk is trying to create some space. Going to fire it up in time, but that one is off the iron and no good. Under a minute now. Auburn down the court. It is Evan Heller with it, and Heller pretty much uncontested all the way to the basket. Nice little late shot there from Evan Heller. Cast Iron with it once again. And Lofton looking for some space here. See if Cast Iron can get on the board one more time before this one hits final. Lofton weaving back and forth outside of this three-point line. Pass down into Risk. Risk going to fire up. That one's going to be short. It's going to be an Auburn rebound, and that will just about do it here in this one. 10 seconds to play. Evan Heller with the basketball. Auburn's not going to take a final shot. It'll be 79-13. And though there were no donuts won in the second half of this one, Rhett, that was some of the most stifling defense we have seen. And that is a season low in points allowed now for the Auburn Tigers with just 13. We saw them allow just 17 earlier this weekend, and another outstanding defensive performance. Auburn wins 79-13 to close out this Saturday of wheelchair basketball action.
Yeah, they looked really great defensively. Gave up 0 points in the fourth quarter, just 3 in the entire second half. Came out fired up. One of those donuts didn't earn them by the letter of the law, but, man, think that this team might be deserving of some free donuts after a performance like that. Offensively, continued to look good and got to see guys shine from all over the place. Really liked what we saw from Chowdhury in the first half. This team has a lot of talent and really excited to see where they go as the collegiate schedule gets underway in a few weeks.
I definitely am as well, but if you are an Auburn fan, it has to be an encouraging first weekend in the score column. Is a lot of W's in that score column in this first weekend tournament here in Beard-Eaves Coliseum. Again, Auburn defeats the Cast Iron Steel at 79-13 in your second game of the day here from Beard-Eaves Coliseum. For Garrett Gesh, Aaron Simons, Rhett Chrome, I've been Micah Farmer. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in today, and we will see you on our next broadcast. This has been Auburn Wheelchair Basketball on WEGL 91.1 FM YouTube.